Spent all day getting ready for this and I'm so nervous about it now. Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven and today we are going to be talking about fall comfort shows. I am crocheting because I am just in one of those moods where I have to keep my hands busy. This is the easiest way to make sure that I can still stay on topic. Oh, and before we jump in, there's a lot of background noise in my neighborhood today. I hear like 2 or 3 people working on their yards. School very close to my house has been at recess for like all day. So if you hear screaming, it's recess. I don't know if that means anyone's hurt or not. Other than that, let's just jump in. I'm gonna act like you've never heard any of the shows that I'm talking about. I know that a lot of them are really popular and common and they're not groundbreaking, but I watched a few of these last year and the people didn't explain all of them because they assumed that they were popular enough that everyone had heard of it. And I just felt really left out, and I don't really like feeling left out, and I don't want anyone else to feel left out either. So I'm just gonna like give a brief summary on all of the shows. I did cut this list down by a lot. There were so many. I have been building this little circuit of TV shows that I watch every year the second the temperature gets to like 68 outside and stays there for longer than a day. Actually, this year I started early. It's like almost mid-September. I have already started on 2 of the shows. So some of these shows are like really heartwarming, very comforting, lovely. They might have like great meanings to them. And then a lot of them are also just guilty pleasure. Like I don't actually feel guilty, but like that feels like the most appropriate word. Guilty pleasure, mind popcorn, just, you know, relaxing. All I'm watching these for is so that I can sit on a cold night and knit, just enjoy myself. So I know some people get really heated about entertainment and, you know, how it affects your mind when you're consuming it. And if that's a concern for you, absolutely take that into consideration. I'm just sharing the shows that I like to watch, and I hope that we can just like hang out and enjoy ourselves. The first one on my list is Gilmore Girls. Yes, I know. So if you've never seen Gilmore Girls is about a mother-daughter duo living in a small town. Lorelai had Rory when she was 16 and ran away from her upper-class family to find independence. But when Rory is accepted in a private school that Lorelai can't afford, she reconnects with her family and borrows money. And a part of the stipulations of them borrowing money is that they go to Lorelai's parents, Rory's grandparents, every week for a Friday night dinner. It follows from the beginning of Rory's high school years all the way through her graduating college, everything in between, their many relationships, their careers, and just like general evolution of like teenager to adult, a young adult who never got to experience real independence without someone relying on them for everything, to like an adult who has some wiggle room without a child attached to their hip. This show is not perfect. Honestly, there's a lot of things about the show that actually annoy the heck out of me, but I still watch it every year because one, it is so pretty. This has like some of the best fall, winter like visuals. It's so pretty. I do like the idea of a mother-daughter relationship in TV that doesn't follow the stereotype of like we hate each other, we're so alike that we are like, you know, we fight like cats and dogs. Like Rory and Lorelai have a really interesting relationship where Rory is perceived as to be the more mature one, the more adult-like one, while her mom is like the kid that never grew up. It's really interesting watching Rory have to learn how to be a teenager from her mom. Lorelai, like she doesn't learn from Rory, but she's very loving and inspired towards Rory, which I think is just really nice to see. There are so many tropes of like moms that are so judgmental of everything that their child does. I'm real sick of the trope of like I'm never gonna live up to my parents' expectations. Even though there are a lot of jokes that like are really inappropriate, there's not a lot of representation in any direction. It is a really nice show in the aspect of like just mother-daughter relationships that are pretty healthy and happy and supportive. So I do really like it for that. The next one is probably not a surprise. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, I love this show so much. Okay, so this is one of my favorite childhood shows. I used to watch this before walking to school in the morning. It was Oh, so good. I also have it on DVD now, so like even when Netflix is down, I can still watch it, thank goodness. This show takes place in a world where some of the people are able to manipulate natural materials through a process called bending. There are distinct cultures built around each of the 4 elements. There's one person in every generation who is able to bend all 4 elements, and they are called the Avatar. They also have a really strong connection to the spirit world, and their job is basically to keep balance between all 4 nations and the spirit world and the physical world. Really cool concept just from the get-go. This series, which is the first of like all of the Avatar related series, is all about the current Avatar named Aang. When Aang was 10 years old, he was trapped in an iceberg for 100 years. And during that 100 years, the Fire Nation took over the world. They used their military forces to dominate the other nations, including a complete genocide of the Air Nation because they wanted to avoid the Avatar getting in their way. And because of the cycle of Avatars, they knew that it was going to be in the Air Nation. So the series follows Aang and his friends as they travel from each nation to each nation so that Aang can learn how to bend all of the elements to be a proper Avatar, and also, so that they can restore the nations and restore the balance between the spirit world, because with the Fire Nation doing everything that they're doing, nothing is in balance and a lot of things are really bad. And during this whole process, Aang and his friends are being hunted down by the military from the Fire Nation. This show is awesome. It's a mix of lighthearted, comforting comedy. It really exposes you to some hard situations with really hard feelings, and it shows how different people, different personalities will, oh wait, what row am I on? It shows how different personalities can benefit from different reactions, and basically it shows how support can look different for every person that needs it. The more I get into psychology, which I've been interested in since high school, and the more I like rewatch it and the more I find those videos breaking down the psychology of different characters, the more it's just completely fascinating, as well as being nostalgic and heartwarming for me. So I just really enjoy this show. I think it is great for like all kinds of age groups. I don't think someone like too young to understand everything that's going on would be completely thrown off, because like you're still watching, people throw fire at each other and water bending, and it's really like, it's a really cool way to integrate all kinds of aspects together. The next thing on my list is Anne with an E. I really love this show. I think we watched it twice last year. It's one thing to watch it regularly, like every year. It's another to watch it twice back to back. But like, it was so pretty and so emotional. I love this show. So Anne with an E is based off of the novel Anne of Green Gables. I read this as a child. I'm not gonna pretend that I remember every detail, but like watching it and seeing like things come up that I'm like, oh, I remember that, is a really just nice feeling. It's very enveloping and surreal how they just do the entire set and world is just so pretty and just, it's freaking gorgeous. Anne is an orphan. She grew up really unstable. She grew up with a lot of abuse and a lot of trauma, and it has really scarred her mental health. Just her as a person is very affected. She has very low self-esteem. She pretty much hates a lot of the things about her. She has been living in a lot of delusion just to try and survive, which is absolutely heartbreaking. At the beginning of the show, Anne is adopted by a brother and sister who were looking for a hand to help on their farm. They actually wanted a boy. At first they are about to send her back, but they end up keeping her, and then it's just entirely following the story of Anne adjusting to living with a stable life. These people who didn't really want to be parents, they just wanted help with the farm, adjusting and coming to love her in ways that they weren't prepared for. It also makes them reflect on some of their own childhood trauma and the things that they went through as kids, how they do or don't want it to affect Anne, and also just Anne trying to make friends because she never had that as a kid, or like as a younger kid. There's so much to it, and I think they did a really wonderful job with this series. I so wish it hadn't been cut off, because they could have taken this in so many directions, and it was so pretty, and I'm really happy with the ending, but I just wanted more. The next show on my list is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I've watched this a few times. I watched this as they were publishing the seasons, so It's really interesting now that I have finally finished it. I actually finished it earlier this year, and now I'm obsessed with it because the ending that they gave it was so well done. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is about a girl named Rebecca who is living a miserable life. She has had a lot of decisions made for her. She has become this superstar lawyer who is about to be partner and is completely miserable. She is very withdrawn and unfeeling, numb to the world. And she randomly runs into her boyfriend from high school, like summer camp, I think, or maybe it was middle school. They don't reconnect or anything like that, but she hears that he still lives in California, and she very middle of the moment has this epiphany that she wants to run away to California and see if she can get together with him, live this happy life. And obviously, it does not work out like that. Josh has a very steady girlfriend that he's been with for years. He has this whole group of people who obviously don't want him to be duped. I need my scissors, I'll be right back. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend starts off with like a whole bunch of scheming and is very like normal sitcom-y, unhealthy relationships and codependency issues. And it turns into this really interesting show about someone suffering with mental illness and getting support and help that they desperately need, and learning how to live with it, and how not necessarily, like, this person is not cured of their mental illness, but they learn to manage it, and they learn to set up boundaries with themselves and with the people around them that benefit everyone involved, because if their mental illness is in better check, they are better able to be them, like show up as the person they want to be. I don't want to give spoilers away, but I also really like that they turn the show from a romance focused person towards someone who is expressive about their passions and what they can do and what they can create. I think that is amazing and beautiful. If you haven't seen it, like, I don't want to ruin it for you, but it is really good and I actually really like it. I will say, like, the whole scheming part of the show, it goes on for way longer than it should, but it picks up speed towards the end in a way that I really enjoyed. Apparently the only anime I have on this list is Sword Art Online, which I've recently learned is like frowned upon from in the like anime community. I have rabbit hair in my lipstick. Okay, so I actually do really like the concept of anime as like just a genre I would like to watch more of, and I have watched more, I promise. But when I was in high school, there was this whole, and I'm sure it's still occurring, there was like a really big stigma about if you watch subbed or dubbed. And because I crochet while I watch TV, I don't really watch a lot of subs. People were really mean to me about that, so I just stopped trying to watch anime until I started dating my husband. And this is one of the first shows that we watched together. He had never watched it dubbed, but he really wanted me to feel comfortable watching anime, and so he found this one. He'd watched it subbed several times, and now we just watched a couple of times a year together, and it's because of that. Like, it's nostalgic just because it's like the first one we watched together, and I do think it's cute. Don't think it's perfect, but like I didn't realize it was as controversial as it appears to be. Sword Art Online is about this kid who is trapped in a video game. It's sort of like a virtual reality video game. The first day that the game was launched, the person who made this video game trapped everyone in it. If you tried to like disconnect yourself from the video game headset, you died physically in the real world. And if you died in the video game, you died in real life. This game follows this kid who has been stuck in this video game for about a year now, and he has no connection to the outside world. He doesn't know anything about what his family's doing or anything like that. It's just this group of kids trying to escape a video game that they've been trapped in for a year. I like it. I don't know. It's like mind popcorn, I guess. I think it's cute. If you like romance, it's got a good romance aspect to it, but I don't like heavy romance, so I like that. Because it was like one of the first things my husband and I watched together, I just like going back to it. It does have a pretty theme song. I could not make a comfort show video without including the Great British Baking Show, but because we're talking about fall and winter and stuff, we're gonna specify it to the Great British Baking Show holiday editions because those are so pretty. If you've never seen the Great British Baking Show and you like baking shows, I would really recommend this. It's a baking competition, but the way that they film and edit it, it's sort of not over dramatized. So the whole competition aspect isn't stressful to watch. I'm sure it's very stressful when you're in it. There's not really like loud, angry music playing at you, and it doesn't have like those cut scenes where like people are like threatening each other. Very nice. I think it's like very relaxing, soothing. They make really pretty things. The tent is always pretty, but when it's decorated for Christmas and everything, I just love it. I literally watch the Great British Baking Show every single night. I watch about an episode and a half because it helps me sleep. And so, you know, I have to like have my holiday edition. I'm also really excited for the season coming out. I'm filming this before it's come out. I don't remember when this video is going up, so it might be out in the US or it might not, but like I'm so excited. The last show that I'm gonna talk about, give a summary on, is The Chef Show. Had never seen the movie Chef before I saw this show, so I didn't understand the full context behind it, but it was very well done and it's very, I love this show. So The Chef Show is about Chef Roy Choi and Jon Favreau, who worked together on the movie Chef. Jon Favreau was the star actor and Roy Choi helped train him to be a like real chef instead of using a body double in the movie, which is like really freaking cool as a concept. Like I love that they did that. The Chef Show is basically them cooking together, hanging out. They travel a little bit to show like restaurants or places that you can travel to for food. They go to some of the areas that I grew up going to a lot, and so it's a little bit like a homesickness feeling for me, but it's also just really exciting and inspiring. And like the way they use ingredients, the way they just show like really pretty vegetables makes me excited to cook. I'm not really a person who likes to cook very much. I just really love it. You can also just tell that the people who are on the show are just all excited about food, and they're not really there to like be very pompous or judgmental. They're just there to like share food and share the excitement of food, which is just so freaking cool. I love it. And because we watched this show a few times, I did actually go watch the movie Chef, and I enjoyed that as well. So yeah, that is the like list of shows. I'm gonna go do a lightning round. Shameless UK version. I just really like the chaos. It's very exciting. The Good Doctor. I don't know. I keep watching it. Seven Deadly Sins. It's another anime my husband and I like to watch. Toradora is an anime that I like to watch. I actually really like the realistic slice of life. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. I just really like it. It's very cute. I like that a lot of slice of life series are about girls that are just very aggressive in how they approach life. John Mulaney, we just watch all of his stand-up comedy, and on a regular basis we're screaming references at each other from across the house. It's great, love it. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the first season and like maybe the second season, fantastic, and then you can just stop there. I don't really want to finish the rest. I do because I have to finish things to completion, but no, stopping there would be good. The Crown, very pretty. Did not really have an interest in the royal family before then, but now I want to know all of it. Bob's Burgers. I love Bob and Linda as parents. I love their kids, and Louise is everything I aspire to be in life. Bridgerton. We've only watched this once because, you know, it just came out this year, but it's very pretty and it's definitely mind popcorn, and you know, it's just kind of fun to watch some trashy plots in really pretty dresses. Beastars, so weird but so interesting. I just like the whole like people, or the animals are people, and the whole like carnivores and herbivores cohabitating in a way that like is very dangerous, but they keep trying to make it work. How I Met Your Mother. I hate the ending, but I really love Lily and Marshall together. They are just so good, so good. Parenthood. I actually watched this in high school with my mom, and it's really interesting seeing where Sarah Graham, the lady who played Lorelai, it's really interesting to see how she doesn't age. And also I just really like watching how all of the different separate families intermingle together, and you just, it's really interesting little ecosystem they've got going on. Letterkenny. Show is hilarious. I absolutely love it. I started watching this after I saw some sort of meme that said the main character, who I can't remember because I'm looking at too many shows at the same time, would be a great actor for Wolverine, and after watching it, can confirm. And then the last one is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know, it's a good show and it's funny. Apparently I am Santiago, and what is the other guy's name? The main character. Jeez. I am both of them at the same time. My husband likes to point it out a lot. That is my entire list of comfort shows. I was gonna like go through all of them, but already I've been talking for over half an hour. I would love to hear what kind of shows you watch, whether it's like a fall comfort show or just in general what you watch on a day that you want your brain to just feel comfortable. I hope you are having a wonderful day today, or that tomorrow is better. Leave me a plant emoji in the comments below if you're still watching. Hit subscribe if you like this kind of content. We can hang out together in a few days with a day in the life. Yeah, I'm really excited about fall and all of the shows that I'll be watching. I like falling asleep, so I should probably wrap this up. Bye.